Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, we ran our first mining operation to land our new miner on the moon, gather ore, and then bring that ore up to the Kerbal 1 station, and then convert that ore into usable materials, in this case lithium, to fill up the large lithium tank that I've installed in the station. So that basically means that that station is now fully functional. It can do everything. It can process science, it can process resources, it can generate fuel, it can be a refueling stop for any new vehicles that we send over there. So, that is good. The one kind of downside is that it is kind of gotten so large and complex that there's a rather significant performance hit when we're in the vicinity of the station. So I'm kind of thinking that I don't necessarily want to make it any larger than it is. Maybe another fuel tank might be something I do. But for now, I think it's good where it is. I kind of had it, thought that, I was going to put a reactor up there and, all the kind of, refining and manufacturing capabilities that the mods that I have offer. But I don't think that that is going to work. So I think that if we want to do any additional kind of, resource conversion and manufacturing stuff, I'm probably going to have to build a second station, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. But for today, what I want to do is I want to get those probes back home, the Joule probe and the Elu probe, back home. So that's what we're going to work on. Oh, there is some stuff I did off screen. I did install another new module on the station, a small one. It's just a small converter module that has the ability to convert fertilizer. Well, convert ore to fertilizer. Because fertilizer is what is needed to keep the hydroponics bay running. So that should help. And I also ran a supply mission up there to top off the life support supplies. So if we go to the station real quick, it'll take a minute. Okay. So this is the new small module right there that has the other convertatron that has the ability to make the fertilizer. And all of the supplies should be at maximum. So if we look at this, supplies are at maximum. And actually, they don't appear to be depleting at the moment, which is good. Which means that the hydroponics module is doing its job. I will probably need to run this thing down for some more ore at some point. But for now, I think we're okay. And for life support, we have 5 years, 316 days worth of life support for the crew. So it should be plenty. It should be plenty. Alright, so let's go ahead and head over to our goal for the day, which is going to be the Joule probe. switch to... Okay, there we are. I did go ahead and make sure that the reactor was turned on and ready to go, because these solar panels just don't provide enough power this far out to keep this thing running. So it needs the reactor to be on. Alright, so we have a 1900 meters per second delta V maneuver to make in 1 year, 238 days, and 1 hour. And it's going to be an 8-minute long burn, give or take. A few seconds. And... this should lead to there you go. Let me make a slight adjustment. So there's our encounter. Okay, with Kerbin. Alright, so maneuver planner. We're going to want to go ahead and just tell it to execute the node. Oh, we're going to auto warp. Now that's a 1900 meters per second maneuver. We have 10,000 meters per second of delta V left. So it should be plenty. Now, once we drop in a bit closer, to the sun, then we can turn the reactor off for the coasting phases. And then just turn it back on when we need to, because we need to conserve that fuel. Because right now the core life has only 3 years on it. Just gotta keep an eye on those supplies. Alright, and where is the ELU probe? It's actually not that far away. I mean, not that far away in relative terms. It's right down there. It's probably as far away as Kerbin is from the sun. All right, 120 days. Just keep an eye on there. 4 years and 80 days. I also need to pop back there and probably transfer some science as well, because we're still in the process of also converting science. Now, how did I lose all the ablator on that shield? Oh well. Well, that happened before. That happened before and it wasn't a problem, so it shouldn't be a problem this time. Alright, so we got 7 minutes worth of maneuver to make. So I guess we'll go ahead and pause, and I'll be back once the maneuver is complete. Or just about complete. Alright, well, I kind of let things go a little bit too long in the maneuver completed, so I didn't jump back in as soon as I had anticipated. So, that is complete. Let's just check the trajectory and make sure that we are where we need to be. And it does look like we have an encounter with Kerbin. Excellent. Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to the ELU probe real quick. I gotta check it and make sure there aren't any issues we need to be concerned about. Okay, what are we looking at here? Electric charge is dropping. Okay. Let's see, if we start the reactor up, we have 2 years, 201 days of fuel, of endurance left on that reactor. Okay. We have 1 year, 133 days until this thing's maneuver. That should be alright. Now, we're not showing an encounter here, but there should be one. Come on. Why is it having trouble, like, actually editing the maneuver node? Weird. What if I did it from here? There's our encounter. Okay. It's gonna be a 9-minute long burn. gotta think about this. It's gonna burn off half our endurance. But once we complete the burn, because we need to make sure we retain enough electric charge to run through it, we can shut it down, let the probe fall closer to the sun, and then the panels should be able to keep the thing energized. Alright. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just manually warp to right about 1 year from now. Maybe a little bit further than 1 year. Like maybe right about there. Alright, warp there. Alright, that should hopefully give the Joule probe time to fall in closer. Although it looks like it's barely moving. Wonder how long it's going to actually take to get back. Okay, and we're also barely at the edge of our communications range. Alright, how are the Kerbals doing? They got 3 years of 3 years of supplies left. So they're fine. Alright, time warp complete. We got 44 days left. Alright, I'm gonna hop back over to Joule probe. Switch to. I want to see how it's doing. Okay. Solar panels have full exposure. What is our transfer rate? Energy flow is still at 0.05. 0.051. 0.052. 0.053. Still not enough. Still not enough sunlight. We only have 376 days left on the reactor, so I'm going to have to turn the reactor off. Which means the batteries will deplete. But hopefully, once we're about ready to do our Kerbal encounter, there'll be enough power coming in for the solar panels that we won't have any problems. Okay. Oh, there is one other thing that I wanted to switch to. Yeah, see, that's where our encounter is going to be. All right, well, let's head over to the station real quick. Because I want to see what the how much science is built up in the science lab. And then transfer that back to Kerbal. Okay. There we are. It takes a bit to load in. All right. Science lab. You have almost 500 science. Okay, go ahead and transmit the science. That is going to be a real nice pile there. Yeah, we do have line of sight to Kerbal. And electric charge is fine. Oh yeah, I got tons of electric charge. As well, pretty much everything that I brought up have batteries on it, so. Okay. Research data received. Okay, so ELU probe. There you are. Switch back to that. And then we need to do the final approach to the maneuver node. 44 days. And then get that maneuver node run through. And then I'll have to see what the time looks like as far as, you know, who's getting back first. Is probably going to be the Joule probe getting back first. How long is that going to take? And am I going to have to worry about supplies on the station? All right. Now let's make sure that the game is still saying the maneuver will result in an encounter, because sometimes when it recalculates, it doesn't look like it will. Which is weird. I just kind of have to like... There we are. Okay. Execute the node. And pretty much as soon as this maneuver is done, I gotta shut that reactor off. Alright, there it is. 9 minutes. Alright, so I'll go ahead and do another pause here and I'll be back when we're done. Oop. Hit the wrong button there. Okay. Alright, so burn is done. I don't know if you can really call it a burn, but it's done. So make sure that we get that encounter, and it looks like we do. Excellent. Very excellent. Alright, let's shut that reactor down. Shut that reactor down. And there we go. Okay. So, since the Joule probe is likely to be the one to get there first, because you actually got to go high, you know, at a higher orbit and then drop back in. Let's see. You'll get your encounter with Kerbin in 3 years, 271 days. So I will have to run another resupply before that guy gets back. Okay. So what about the other probe, the Joule probe? Switch to. Okay. Alright, so the Kerbin encounter is how long from now? 1 year, 320 days, 3 hours. Plenty of time. Alright. Let's go ahead and warp us in. Let's go ahead and warp us in. I'm really hoping for big numbers. Big science numbers. Especially out of this one. Especially out of this one. Energy flow is up to 0.1. It's still not quite enough to keep everything charged. I don't know why it's blinking like that. It's a bit odd. Now I expect that we're going to have to run a very extensive maneuver once we get there. Alright, 200 days. Let's see where we're at. There. Okay, that has gotten through its apoapsis. Sliding in. there's Kerbin. We're actually going to be ducking inside of Kerbin's orbit to catch up. And then coming back up to meet it. Yep, we got full electric charge now. Okay. Warp complete. Electric charge is full. We have communications. Very good. Alright, so let's go ahead and warp the last little bit. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to circularize at the periapsis. Create the node. What are we looking at? 3,253.2 meters per second of delta V. Is going to be a 12-minute long maneuver. All right, let's fire that reactor back up. There we are. Execute the node. Yeah, so the auto warp should start here soon. Now, where is Kerbin relative? There it is. $3,000. That'll leave us with around 5,000 meters per second. Which is no problem at all. Alright, another long maneuver to get through here. So, we'll go ahead and be back when we are just about done. Alright. Burn is just about done, and the trajectory is starting to curve, and it should snap into an orbit here in just a sec. Boom. There we go. Okay, so now we are captured into an orbit, but it's still way too high for to return our scientific package back. So we are going to need to lower our periapsis. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we're still in retrograde. And let's fire those engines back up. Alright, periapsis. 30,000 kilometers. No, that's 1,000 kilometers. We need to be down below probably somewhere around 150 to 100 kilometers. So 8,000, 7,000, 5. All right, let's start throttling it down. 115 kilometers. There we go. Alright. So we're going to use a maneuver planner again one more time to circularize the periapsis. So we have 3-minute burn. Easy. 900 meters per second. Plenty of gas in the tank. Just quick paranoia check on the life support. Yeah, we need to keep that reactor on. To finish off this burn, yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes are fine. No need to kind of pause it here. Alright, let's start prepping things. We can go ahead and retract that antenna. I do not want to engage those engines yet. Okay, yep, everything's coming down. We have 255 meters per second of delta V in that tank. So yeah, that definitely is nowhere near enough to deorbit at this point. Actually, I might just go ahead and jump forward. Alright, 10 more seconds. Ten more seconds. And periapsis height. Apoapsis height. Everything should be fine there. I mean, it's not exactly circular, but it's good enough. Alright, now let's try and do this better than the last time I brought one of these home. And go ahead and decouple that node. Engage the RCS. Back us off the payload. Switch over to the payload. And then I want to go ahead and activate the engines. Engine. There we go. Actually, we have 1,700 meters per second of delta V. Now that we've ditched most of our mass. Okay. Well, 1,000 meters per second. I don't know what this is counting. Okay, so we want to be controlling We definitely want to be controlling from here. There we go. Not from there. Alright, so then we want to point ourselves retrograde. And oh, wrong button. All right. Periapsis height. I'm going to drop this to about 25 kilometers. All right. And then so let's go ahead and let's spin this up. Actually, hold on. Turn off that. Let's spin up. Okay. That was a little weird. All right, so I just wanted to make sure that those were going to separate. All right. We want us retrograde. Electric charge is good. All right, so let's go ahead and advance to our entry. All right. Retract the solar panels. All right, let's go 4 times. As we drop in. Yeah, with that depleted heat shield, I did not want to make this too aggressive. All right, there we are. We want to get that speed down. All right, we're good to deploy chutes. Chutes deployed. Where are we coming down? We're coming down. We should be okay. We should be okay. It's probably a little hilly, but it's not mountains, so that's good. $3,000 meters. All right, parachutes deploying. Get rid of that heat shield. .8 meters per second is perfect. I thought that those were supposed to kind of come out to the side rather than both being directly on top of each other. Maybe a little bug there. Oh well. No big deal as long as the parachutes are doing their job. That's all that matters. And touchdown. Okay, let's recover that vessel and see what we got. We got 3,451.6 science. Excellent. All right, done. So let's see what we can grab here. Now, what was I thinking we needed? We needed the advanced... No, not the advanced electrostatic thrusters. We needed the advanced plasma propulsion. All right, to get these better magnetoplasma dynamic thrusters. Inductive thrusters. Pulsed inductive thrusters. Those are argon gas. Lithium, better lithium tanks. Sounds good. Let's grab it. I need the advanced photovoltaics, I think. See, these are cutting edge photovoltaics. 55 per second, 40 per second, 100 per second. 250 per second solar panel. They cannot be retracted once deployed. Huh. Let's see, what are these? 2 per second, 5, 5, 7 per second, 7, 14, 22 for 150. Okay. 75, 25, 30, 45. I mean, these are nice, but I think for the upcoming vehicles we're gonna want these, like stuff that is 100 per second or 250 per second. Let's grab that. Advanced logistics. Experimental science. These are various extractors. Narrowband scanner. Huge holding tank. The jumbo converter module. No, I'm not interested in nuclear propulsion per se. Atomic aerospike rocket. Oh, that's where the LQB air drive is. Down this line. Okay. So I will have to advance down that if I want to get to that. Alright. I need the nuclear fuel systems. Alright. And then we're going to need the bigger rockets. So the experimental rocketry, gigantic rocketry, high performance fuel systems, specialized fuel storage. These guys, I think, are probably what we're going to go after next. Heavy landing. I mean, I haven't grabbed any of the aerodynamic stuff yet. Which is also, we're also going to have to work on. So, exotic solar technology. What do we got? 500 per second photovoltaic array. A radical new take on solar arrays is really, really big. This model simply dwarfs every other solar panel on the market. Due to its unique construction methods, the panel is relatively cheap and light, but can't match smaller panels in power density. Cannot be retracted. I'd like to see exactly what this new solar panel array looks like. And what are we dealing with as far as the new engines? Alright, so we got the Colossus Magnetoplasma Dynamic Thruster. Requires 3,000 electric charge per second. 242.2 kilonewtons. But it actually is more efficient than these. I think it uses more power per thrust, but is more efficient with the lithium fuel. So I'd have to probably do some comparisons. Then we have the inductor. There's 500 per second. 27 or 26.7 kilonewtons. Uses argon gas. Huh. Interesting. Alright, well, let's just put something in here. So we got the new solar panels, which are these Aries blankets photovoltaic arrays that do 250 per second. So if you went with 4 of them, that's what? 1,000 electric charge per second, which is like what we would previously have needed a nuclear reactor for. Okay, well they'll overlap in that configuration. Okay. But even like 500 electric charge per second, that's, you know, assuming they can gather enough light. I mean, that's not bad, I don't think. I mean, they are large. But, I mean, compare them to these. They do 45 per second. We'll have to see what we can do with those. Alright, but I think we're done for the day. I need to resupply the station. And probably see if it has any more science to transfer. It's probably not a bad idea to do one real quick look at it. But yeah, it's going to need a resupply, and then we need to get the other science package back. I might do some of that off screen, if not all of it. Because it's basically going to be the same thing we just did. And so we'll see what we can do from there. See what the plan is for the next major exploration mission. As soon as it wants to load. There we go. So our Kerbals have spent the last long while here. It might be worth cycling out the crew. That's a thought. Yep, we've got another nearly 500. So go ahead and transmit that science back. No available in-range antennas. We out of line of sight? We are out of line of sight. No big deal. There we go. I still have 15 data to process. Okay, transmit. Alright, so with that rolling, we'll go ahead and stop here for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.